I want to raise had to do with the outburst of the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Honorable Sabota Caesar, with respect to my explanation of a budget cut in the tourism department. Take a look at this second clip and be reminded.
Take the Ministry of Tourism. The Ministry of Tourism has a local advertising and promotion budget, Mr. Speaker. But when you make the comparison, you will see that it has actually been cut for this year. And I asked myself why, and I could only conclude that, okay, you know what, let me go through certain areas and cut here and cut there and cut there, because we know we're not going to find all this money that we need to do what we're supposed to do anyway. But it is sad, because the honorable member responsible for tourism indicated the importance of sensitization of our people in order for them to be able to do a good job with respect to welcoming our visitors. But then you cut the local advertising and promotion budget, Mr. Speaker, you cut it from 260,000 in 2010 to 150,000. Mr. Speaker, I know that the persons in the Ministry of Tourism work hard, but so does many other public servants, but many times their hands are tied because the money ain't there to do the work, Mr. Speaker. And I am saying, Mr. Speaker, that this is an example. Mr. Speaker, you heard those ads being played on the radio and the TV with the little jingle at the end, tourism today, tourism tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, those are the kind of things that the communications unit works on to help with sensitizing the local population. I know because I was there and I did those ads. Mr. Speaker, we have competent people there. We have a new person there who was trained in communications. I'm sure she would have lovely ideas to develop this program. But alas, the budget has been cut. The budget has been cut by $110,000, Mr. Speaker, in a year when we claim that we are strong in the sensitization of our populace to host visitors accordingly, Mr. Speaker.
Rise on the 35B, because but she said,
no, when he said,
more than that, just a minute, more than that, he rose on the 35B also. It's a point of order. I know what 35 says. He says that yes, when he rises, the member can give way. I know what 35B says. You challenge my knowledge. You challenge my knowledge. But if she does not give way, then there's the alternative. All he has to state what he's writing on point of order. And that's the thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable is making a point that the expenditure on advertisement, because yesterday I spoke at length that we are going to create a modern tourism sector and that advertising is very important. And I even spoke about the sensitization that will be done locally. If my honorable friend will look at me at page 557, $14 million is allocated under the Tourism Authority. I have already spoken to the persons on the Tourism Authority for allocation of monies for advertisement locally. All right, so I just want to make that point very, very clear.
Honourable Member, you have 3 minutes to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my understanding of the Tourism Authority's role, based on what is outlined in the estimates and also based on being a part of the whole process when it was being formed, is that they have responsibility for marketing SVG outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The advertising and promotion budget under Tourism Administration is the one that is for local sensitization, Mr. Speaker. So if the honorable member is saying to me, Mr. Speaker, if the honorable member, Mr. Speaker, may I be allowed to finish, please? If the honorable member is saying that they have cut down the local advertising budget to then go and take money from the advertising to outside to put it there, I understand. But the point is, Mr. Speaker, the distinction has been made because we knew that there was a need for both local advertising, education sensitization, as well as advertising outside. And I can't see the sense in taking money from the outside advertising budget to put into local when you have money that you could put into local, as you have done last year. Why touch it now?
Order 35B. And the Honourable has given way. Mr. Speaker, I am the Minister of Tourism. I must say that clearly. I am the Minister of Tourism. And no one from outside my ministry can come and tell me about how I allocated monies to be spent. And whether monies were spent or whether monies will be spent locally or internationally. I just want to state that clear. Monies are allocated under the Tourism Authority. $14 million. If I want to allocate expenditures of monies locally as a part of the marketing package, I am the minister and the honourable member is not the minister.
On a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, 35 Mr. Speaker. It is an affront to this Parliament for any minister to so state that it resides within him as to how to spend money within the ministry. This Parliament approves estimates for specific projects and line items, and we are obliged to stick within the approvals given by this Parliament, not for any minister to hear these for themselves what they do.
If I may, because I just need to clear this point. Because it's not a difficult point, but certain persons are making heavy weather of it. I don't know because they do not understand the point. All of them say, Mr. Speaker, monies are allocated $14 million for marketing under Tourism Authority. Okay? I am the minister, and that is a fact. I am the minister. And I would say how monies are divided between locally or internationally out of that $14 million. It's plain and simple, you know.
Enough said on that issue.
No one who used to work in the ministry can come and tell me to spend.
1 minute to conclude. That's it.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe I don't understand a lot of these things, but I understand him to say the money is allocated $40 million for marketing, and I suppose if they determine how the $14 million is spent does not go outside, as far as I'm concerned, outside of the authorization to spend $14 million. Mr. Speaker, is it that what you're saying?
I want the Honourable Member for Central Queenstown to look on the point. I want to get this categorically clear. Is the Honourable Minister saying that he, having gotten an allocation in the estimates, that it is up to him to spend the money however he wishes, and nobody can tell him anything?
No.
Is that the point that he's saying?
No.
Because that is the conclusion from what he's saying. Nobody from outside can tell him what to say, how to spend the money, because he is the minister.
No, I didn't get that.
I don't know why we wasted the whole of the last Friday debating on the estimates. If you have a minister who can say that he basically can do whatever he wants, so long as the funds are allocated.
Thank you very much, Emilio.
That's how
I am not going to entertain any further discussion on this matter. You have 1 minute to conclude, Honourable Senator, and conclude no further discussion on this matter. 1 minute, and I want to conclude.
Mr. Speaker, in concluding on this point, my issue is this. The same $14 million that has been allocated to the Tourism Authority last year, 2010, has been allocated to them again for 2011 to do their marketing outside. I'm finishing, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I'm doing that, Mr. Speaker.
Right.
So if you have the same $14 million last year,
We're not moving on
but Mr. Speaker, I just want to, Mr. Speaker.
I want that issue to close because I'm not going to
Mr.
entertain any
Speaker, I am referring to the estimate.
I understand that, but I said you have said enough on that issue.
But I just have one point I want to finish, and you're Mr. Speaker.
Tell me I'm interrupting you.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator, please take your seat. You can't tell the speaker you're interrupting you. What kind of disorder is this? I'm interrupting you.
Mr. Speaker, I should not have used the word interrupting, but I simply meant that while I was saying what I was saying, because you cut me, I wasn't able to finish the thought. That is all. Mr. Speaker, the budget was cut. That is my point. And I am saying that this is as a result of the overall financial situation that we find ourselves in, and it is happening in all the different departments as a result. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say, sorry.
Time is up. Time is up. That's the end of it. You've gone over the extra time that...
Yes, my dear people, that is what happened. But what really was I saying? Despite the various cuts and interferences, let me clearly and simply show you what was I saying. When you look at the estimates document on page 560, where the Tourism Administration expenditure is broken down, I was pointing to program 369 called Advertising and Promotion, which is the local advertising and promotion budget of the Ministry of Tourism, and I was making the point that in 2010, we estimated to spend 260,000. We allocated 260,000 to that department. But now in 2011, we had cut the budget by 110,000 and only allocated 150,000. And I use this as an example of how when you're running deficit budgets over time and you don't have the kind of money you need to spend on the relevant programs, it is reflected in cuts like these. You cut the budget for this program, local advertising and promotion, by $110,000, which is truly unfortunate because this is an area that the Honorable Minister would have expressed in his budget debate just a day before me. This is an area on which he wants to emphasize, which is local sensitization, because we understand the importance of making sure our public is sensitized enough about the importance of tourism so that they can do what is necessary when the visitors come here and make a good impression and ensure they come back and spend and help our economy. When I made the point, the Honorable Minister had a problem with it. He made the issue that the Tourism Authority has been allocated 40 million for advertising, and that he has already decided that he will take money from the Tourism Authority to put to the Ministry of Tourism's advertising budget. And I said I had a problem with that because I understand, even from the very estimates, my dear people, by an act of Parliament when the Tourism Authority was set up, its purpose was to market St. Vincent and the Grenadines outside of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. If you go to page 567 of the estimates document, if you ever get a hold of it, you would see that the very objectives of the Tourism Authority program has to do with things like promoting the country as a tourist destination, creating awareness and international interest in SVG as a destination for holiday and assorted recreational activities, developing marketing strategies that could convert awareness into interest. So the idea is to spend monies outside to bring people in. That's what the Tourism Authority is for. So you can't take from the 14 million that has been allocated to the Tourism Authority to say you're going to put it into local advertising. Local advertising has to do with selling the importance of tourism to locals so that they could take care of the product and ensure that it is good for the visitors when they come. And remember, the 14 million is not just for marketing outside, it's for the whole authority. So it means you have to pay wages from that and take care of other expenses. So already the external marketing budget is small. And if you're telling me as the minister you're going to take from that to put to the local budget, that is unfortunate. And then what was worse is that he stood up and beat his chest and said that he is the minister and nobody who used to work in the ministry is going to come and tell him how to spend his money. Well, that doesn't augur well for how his relationship is going to be with stakeholders, because they're outside the ministry and they have a stake in the industry and they ought to be able to give advice and recommendations as to how money should be spent in the industry for everybody's benefit, for the whole country's benefit. So that kind of arrogant display from the minister was truly unfortunate and unbecoming of somebody who claims to be a representative of the people. Unfortunately, this is why I have to end this program. Let me remind you that you may contact Serving the People at servingthepeople.ab@gmail.com or call me at 528-1015. And young Democrats of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, remember, public speaking competition coming up. Call Nick Francis, the president of Young Democrats, at 526-8567. Get information, get involved, and until next program, I am here to serve the people.